Hello, everyone. My name is Natalie Ledwell, and this is The Inspiration Show. Today on the show, we're going to talk about challenges, how to move through them, and how to turn them around so they actually are gifts in your life and really help you to move forward in a much more empowered way. So to help me to do that and to talk about this amazing subject, I'd like you to welcome my guest, Judy van Niekerk. How are you, Judy?
I'm great. Thank you so much, Natalie. How are you? Thank you.
Fantastic. It's always a pleasure to see you. I know that you're over in the UK right now, and it's kind of a bit coolish over there, pretty much like it is on the East Coast here in the US. Obviously not that I'm feeling that at all with my short sleeves, but
We are short sleeves. Yeah, no, it's a bit chilly here today.
yeah, wonderful. Now, darling, what we might do is just start off with your background and your story and how you got into doing the work it is that you do.
Yeah, my background is, a lot of people would say, and it is quite horrendous, having been incarcerated by my father for almost 2 decades. I've been raped and gang raped. For that time I was incarcerated, I've been shot and beaten and stabbed and made pregnant several times. So it's quite with home abortions, quite horrific home abortions. So it's quite a traumatic experience, 2 decades, until I literally escaped in my early 20s. So that is, in a nutshell, the background I come from. But that's not what I'm about. What I'm about is the interesting experience I had after I escaped. Because when I escaped, as you can imagine, I had to learn to fit in with society. I had to learn to integrate and exist. And as you can well imagine, I wasn't what one would call typically normal. So I couldn't hold a job. I was fired from every job I ever had because I like to think it wasn't because I was incompetent, but more not a conformist. And when I eventually had to become an entrepreneur, so I created this great life, a really magnificent life. I earned good money, I had great businesses, did great sports, really made the most out of life. But in that time, while everything on the outside was idyllic and what people would die for, on the inside I was dying. And that was manifesting itself through me taking many overdoses. I took, I think in a 2-year period, about 11 or 12 overdoses. And one time I took 3 consecutive. And I kept asking myself, what is going on here? And like, whilst I was going to therapists and counselors and being institutionalized even during that time, nothing was hitting the mark. Nothing anybody was saying to me was making sense, because it wasn't about coming to terms with or all that stuff that therapy revolves around, the story of my background. It wasn't about that. It wasn't until that last overdose when I woke up, after coming out of a coma in ICU, and I realized what was really going on. And it was that I had lost myself, because during those years of incarceration I had nothing and nobody else, only myself. And during those years I remember I used to have a ritual that I would look at myself in the mirror and I would connect with, at the time I called it my something. Now, as an adult, I realize it's like my spirit, my soul, my higher self. There's several terms for it. But I connected with that so deeply and so powerfully, so authentically, and that gave me such presence, such joy and groundedness, that if I was to say to you now, and it seems, I know it sounds crazy, almost unbelievable, but I had happiness and joy in my heart during those years, because that's what that authentic connection gave me. I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that I would get through this. I got tremendous courage from it. I knew I would get through it, and I knew I would do something crazy and big and magnificent with my life. But when I escaped, I got caught up in the euphoria of society and fitting in. My whole life revolved around being accepted. If I didn't have appointments, preferably 2 or 3 every single night, going from this party to that party, I freaked out, I panicked. I spent years trying to connect with people and everything outside of myself, and that became an insatiable hunger that could never, ever be satisfied. And that's what drove me to this, because my soul knew this wasn't the way. So as you know, and I know, the universe is going to show you. You just have to stop and listen. And the way it was showing me was creating road crashes in my life. I had numerous of them. One of them was taking the overdoses. It wasn't until I stopped and asked myself, what's going on, that I realized that. And it was amazing realization, so empowering. And that's when I started the journey back into connecting with my inner self. And that has been an amazing journey in terms of creating a life that's great on the outside, but also feeling fulfilled on the inside. But more than that, far more than that, it has allowed me to see how those challenges have served me, how those challenges, how I can pick out the tools and the skills that I learned to deal with those scenarios, deal with those circumstances, to create the life that I am destined to live, to create a life that is incredible, not just in my vocation, but in a relationship. I have a relationship that many people just can't believe, given what I have been through. Amazing man, phenomenal, empowering relationship, great social life, and I have there are no limits to what I truly believe can be achieved, and that is so empowering. So that is what I would love to share, and that is what I'm dedicated to share with as many people as I can. No matter what you've been through, there are tools and skills that you can pick out from them, use them, apply them consciously and deliberately to create the dreams that you have in your heart.
Yeah.
So in a nutshell.
Yeah, and and that's the thing that I also want to address here as well. You could be watching this show and not have gone through. I'm sure that nearly everyone watching this show has not gone through such a harrowing experience as you have, Judy. But even me personally, like a year and a half ago, I found myself feeling so numb and so checked out. And same thing. I didn't have anything bad happen in my life, and when you look from the outside looking in, I was working here with my movies. We had this incredible business, had a great relationship, traveled the world, good friends. Everything on the outside was outside looking looked fantastic, but inside there was nothing. It was just I was just numb and completely checked out. And last year I called my coming out year, but the reason I was able to do that and to show up authentically in this space as who I am right now is because I had to go inside and get reconnected to the essence of who I am, or my soul, which is exactly what you're talking about as well. So tell me, what's some of the process or the steps that you take people through to be able to do that, so that they have more meaning and more purpose and feel more alive in their life?
Well, there's one thing that I truly believe in, and this is what I believe and was really worked for me, and it's what I share with people, is that we've got two purposes in life. We've got an inner purpose, a sacred inner purpose, and that's the same for every single one of us, and that is to transcend the limitations of mind and ego, and to evolve and enlighten. And we have an outer purpose, and that outer purpose is unique to every single one of us as our fingerprints, and that is your purpose. And the thing is, so many people spend their life looking for their purpose, seeking their purpose. Your purpose finds you. It's there for you to know in your heart. It's about connecting with your heart. The signs are there from when you were so young, and the universe gives you the experiences that you need, and gives you the I don't want to call it lessons, that sounds like punishment, but it gives you the experiences, I think is the best word, that you need to nudge you back, to nudge you towards your purpose, to living your purpose. Because when you are living your purpose, you by default are living your inner purpose, and that's what we're here to do. That's primarily what we're here to do. Now, one of the important things in order to be able to do that is because we run away from the challenges we've experienced. We experience fear, and because we've experienced it again, we don't want to experience it again. We don't want to have it again in our life. So there's a fear attached to it, so you resent it, so you judge it more, and your subconscious mind believes you're reliving it again and again and again. So it's going to keep on happening to you in one form or another until you decide to get off that train and stop and say, okay, and connect back into your heart and be. This is the single most powerful thing that I think any one of us can do, and yet it's the hardest, and yet it sounds so simple, is to be deeply, deeply honest with yourself. With that honesty, you've got that level of honesty demands that you look at what you've experienced and truly get into it and find out, well, how did it serve you? How did it benefit you? What is the other side of the coin? What is the other side of the magnet? Because we know science has proven today there are two sides to everything. We cannot live a one-sided life. It's impossible. It's physically impossible. There is the other side to everything that we've experienced. So the first thing I would suggest is go to an emotion you have, a feeling you have over an experience that you've had that you resent, you feel anger or hurt about, and with honesty in your heart, how did you get anything out of it? What did you get out of it? What was the benefit to you? Maybe not then, but today in life. Because when I work with people, I do go much, much deeper, and we're able to identify what the benefit is to that person right there, right then, at that time. But most often it's easier to look and see how it serves you today.
Yeah. And that's the thing, we all pick up, don't we? We all pick up little coping mechanisms. We pick up little behaviors, little programs, little beliefs along the way, because, you know, really we do it out of survival.
Yeah.
And maybe we adopted it when we're like 3 or 5 or when we're quite young so that we can survive and get through that process. But then we get to this stage as an adult where you're going, well, this coping mechanism, this behavior is not serving me anymore.
Yes. Yeah, it becomes a habit, doesn't it? It's like you get to a point where you react to something and you actually don't know why you're even reacting to it. And you actually see it as being a self-destructive pattern, something that you don't understand why. And one of the most powerful ways, and I know you'll agree with, that's what Mind Movies is based on, one of the most powerful ways to reconnect with your inner self, your authentic self, is through meditation. And one of the things that I suggest people do is when they are meditating, allow the images to come to the fore in your mind. Allow those images to come to the fore of a particular challenge that you're feeling most charged about or most hurt about. Allow those images, and normally they will be as a child. So say as like 2-year-old or 5-year-old or 6-year-old, and just reconnect with that child and just keep on saying, I love you, I love you, I love you. That is a very powerful exercise. And you'll find as you do that, more and more images will come into your mind, because that little inner child wants that I love you. Because you remember, whatever we experience in those early years, our mind is operating on a different level, a completely different brainwave, that we are just downloading information without cognitive reasoning. So it becomes part of who we are until we consciously change it, consciously address it, consciously reframe that experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. I mean, that's the only thing we have a choice over. I mean, what's happened is happened. The event we can't change.
Yeah. Yes.
But what we can change and what we do have control over is how we choose to look at it and how long we allow it to affect us moving forward. Because for every bad thing that happens, there is something good that comes out of it. Maybe there is some behavior that we've adopted that's given us strength to be able to handle everything else that life throws at it. Or there's something else that's come out of that, or that comes as a result of it afterwards, that actually is a positive thing. And when you can
Yeah.
focus on that more, then that actually changes the energy and the connection and the hold that it has on you moving forward, don't you think?
Totally, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, and I think that is one of the most powerful moments in my life when I accepted that, was that try as I may, I cannot change the past, but I can change now, and I can change going forward. And I've done that so powerfully and so deeply that I've actually, and a lot of people find this incredibly difficult to understand, but I say it purely to demonstrate where you can get to. I did report my father for what he did, and he got 54 years in prison, and the case was held in public, out of camera. But he served only about 4 years before he passed away. And a week before he passed away, I was phoned by the police to say he was dying of cancer and so on. I knew straight away what I needed to do. I got on a plane and I went to see him, to tell him that I loved him. And I was grateful for everything, because I truly, truly can appreciate that every experience I had and how that has served me today. Now, a lot of people, I understand and I know, will find it very difficult, but I just want to emphasize that level of forgiveness is not about absolving them. It's not about releasing that person from any responsibility or accountability, and it is not about endorsing any act that somebody may do to you that hurts. It is about releasing yourself. At the end of the day, I didn't have to walk his path. His path is the path that he needed to walk. I choose to walk the path that I'm walking today, which empowers me, and everybody can do that. Everybody's got it within themselves to do that. And that is the single most empowering thing you can do for yourself and for your life, and to serve your inner purpose. Why would you not want to do that?
Absolutely. Judy, you are an incredible person. You are. Like, this has been an amazing interview, and we could talk for ages. And you know what? And we may get back together again and talk further and share your story with our community, because I know that every single person can benefit from, you know, what you have been able to learn and to apply and to teach and to empower other people with. So if people want to connect with you or work with you, where can we send them? How can they do that?
Well, what I'm offering for today for your viewers is a complimentary discovery session. So they go to my website, judyvanniekerk.com/inspiration. They can apply. Just send me the details, and we'll organize a discovery session. And they'll also get a free gift of an audio and a workbook, which will guide you through what I call charging your challenges, which is a 7-step process. And then we will take that challenge you would love to, in essence, dissolve in the discovery session.
It's wonderful. So guys, if you're watching this online, if you click on the banner to the side here, it'll take you through to Judy's website. Or if you're watching this on the app, make sure that you click the banner that's below this video. So thanks again, Judy. It's been an honor and a pleasure talking to you today. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Natalie. I so appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, guys, I encourage you to share this video, which you can do by clicking the Facebook and the Twitter share buttons on this page. And make sure that you leave your email in the box on this page so I can send you the Manifesting with the Masters video e-course. It's actually valued at $87, and I would love to send it to you for free. So until next time, remember to live large, choose courageously, and love without limits. We'll see you soon.